Russia will try to claim Antarctica and its vast oil resources. And of course, the whole conflict about the international reserve currency is about the ability of the US to purchase oil in the Middle East. But there's an alternative, which is basically also a good solution to the climate problem. I made an article about it, but I found an article here online that I will read. Researchers from Tokyo University of Marine Science and Technology, Mitsubishi Research Institute, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries and several other private sector firms envision a 10,000 square kilometer, which is 3,860 square mile, seaweed farm at Yamatotai, a shallow fishing area in the middle of the Sea of Japan. They claim a farm of this scale could produce about 20 million kiloliters or 5.3 billion gallons of bioethanol every year, which is the equivalent to 1/3 of the 60 million kiloliters or 16 billion gallons of gasoline that Japan consumes every year. So basically they're talking about a 100 by 100 square kilometer stretch of ocean in which they grow seaweed. Seaweed has long been discussed as a potential source of bioethanol, which is typically made from crops such as sugarcane or corn, but the idea has never been brought to fruition. According to the proposal, giant nets used in nori and wakame seaweed cultivation, which is very common because nori is used as the wrapping for sushi, would be laid out to cultivate sargasso seaweed, hondarare, which grows very rapidly. In about a year it's fully grown and you can harvest it. Floating bioreactors, special facilities that use enzymes to break the seaweed down into sugars, would prepare the seaweed for conversion into ethanol, which would be done at sea. Tankers would then transport the ethanol to land. You can imagine that this is kind of in line with the other idea, or the solution that I propose is to basically to do this. But the fascinating thing about this article is that it has Mitsubishi Heavy Industries involved. It's not a joke. And it's an article from May 2007, this is 2 years ago. And basically what this means is, first of all, it's viable. It's economically viable. Second of all, it really takes away a huge problem, a global problem, which is energy. You could almost say that the area between China and the US, which is the Pacific, could be a new symbol to peace between China and the US, because in that area food, fuel, fertilizer, everything we need could be grown, and I made a calculation of the area that would be needed to capture all the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere produced in 1 year, and it's in an article next to this video, it's linked to this video. If that approach was taken, instead of trying to fight as long as possible over resources that are scarce and trying to use as long as possible fossil fuels, which is only in the interest of the industries that now control that. So the people in those industries, they would be out of a job and they don't want to be, and they can manipulate the world through the banking system to force them to need it. If we would ditch that whole yoke of basically a fascist dictatorship of the industry, then we could basically go into the Pacific, into the South Chinese Sea, into the Japanese Ocean, what that body of water is called, next to Australia and between Brazil and Africa, and grow all the fuel that we will need for the future, and in the process also capture massive amounts of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and also reducing the acidity of the oceans. That would be a great plan.